So I'm going to be taking my test today from Numbers 14, 7 through 9, right? But just for the context so we can understand what really happened here, let me just give us a little bit recap on since 13, right? So this is the experience. So God told Moses, right? If you are not a Bible girl or a Bible person, you see, the Israelites, they just get out from Egypt. They've been out of Egypt for a while, so God was actually taking them somewhere. So they've gone through a lot in the wilderness. Now they are actually almost getting to where they were going to. They can actually see it from afar, right? So in verse 13, God said to Moses, he said, send some guys to spy on the land that I am going to give unto them, right? So, and then when they come back, they should come and tell you the report of the place. Okay? And Moses sent 12 guys, right? They went, they checked the whole place. They took like 40 days to do all the research and everything. And they came back even with the fruit of the land to let them know how good the land was, right? So they said them it's a good land. It was land flowing with milk and honey. Like they actually gave good reports. And then bots came in and they said, there's giants in the land. Like I'm talking about the kind of giant that we are like grass chopper right beside them, that we cannot take this city. So there is these two guys, Joshua and Caleb. They were like, no way. Like they were like, they also went there and then they came back with a different report. So that put us to that chapter 14 verse 7 and to 9. So they said unto them, right? That was Joshua and Caleb, the two guys that came with a good report. And they said unto them, and they spake unto the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it, it's an exceeding good land, right? And verse 8 said, if the Lord delights in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land flowing with milk and honey. And verse 9 said, only rebel not against ye the Lord your God. And he said, fear not the people of this land, for they are bread to us, right? And their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. He said, fear them not. You see, Joshua and Caleb, they have different reports. But these other guys, they have 10 people have bad news and 2 people, have good news. You know what they always say, the majority take the vote. The children of Israel were coming from somewhere, right? And God has been doing an amazing thing in their life, right? And now they were close to where they were going. And for some reason, they saw something that they have no power to actually bring down. And get this, the children of Israel forgot of the Lord their God who parted the Red Sea for them. The Lord their God have been winning so much battle for them that no one can stand in front of them. The Lord their God had drowned Pharaoh with all of his own boys in the Red Sea. For some reason, the Israelites forgot about what God has done in their life, and they just focused about the problem that is in front of them. And somehow they started weighing the problem with themselves instead of started weighing it with the Lord. Right? Because if you read your Bible, there is this particular guy, right? After 450 something years later, there was this particular guy named David, right? And this little kid named David also faced the same giant that the Israelites faced and make them turn back. The title of my message today is, it depends on how you see it. Because this guy saw another giant on his way to where God promised him, and the giant is standing in the way. But get this guy said something that the Israelite forgot. This guy went to Saul. Saul was the king back then, and he said to him, he said, your servant keepeth the sheep of his father, and there came a bear and there came a lion, and my God, he actually delivered them into my hands. And he said, this uncircumcised Philistine will not be anything different, right? And David, when he saw Goliath, he said to him, he said, you are coming to me with sword and shield. He said, but I am coming to you in the name of the Lord my God, the God of Israel, whom thou devour his army, who thou are actually coming against his army. You see, David recognized something that the Israelites do not recognize. David chose to remember what God has done for him in the past. And he realized, I can fight this battle, but my God is bigger than this battle. You see, I don't know, someone, when I was studying this scripture, Holy Spirit was teaching me that there are some of his children out there. I don't know who you are, but you're watching this message. But I believe the reason why you are watching this particular message is because God is about to do something amazing in your life. Like a bigger opportunity is coming, and you are thinking you don't have money for it, you don't have resources for it, you don't even know if you collect this contract, if it's going to be successful, because you don't have what it takes to do it. Or probably if you take this job, this big job that God is bringing to you, and you don't have the experience for it, you don't have the you don't have the tools for it, you don't even have the you don't even have the degree for it. But the best thing about our God is he doesn't call those people who are already equipped. You see, God do not call the qualified, he actually qualified the called. If God actually bring this into you, if God actually give you this opportunity, if God is giving you this great opportunity, this favor, if you believe you cannot do it, God knows you don't have what it takes. But God knows that if you could remember the things that he has done in your past, if you have ever seen God heal your body so before, if you have ever seen God made a way where there is no way before, if you have ever seen God make things a little bit unfair on your behalf before, you need to understand the same God that actually parted the Red Sea, the same God that actually bring down the bear and the lion, is the same God that is going to do this. David remembers his revelation with the Lord. David remembered the things that God has done for him. And do you know what was so funny? If you study that life of David, when he actually moved into the Goliath, he said to Goliath, he said, this day I am going to cut your head off. And while I was studying this thing, that guy was not with any dagger. Who went into a sword fight with a rock? This guy went into a sword fight with stones. And it was so funny that David went with 5 smooth stones. But do you notice that he only took one to bring Goliath down? That means that what you have that you think is not enough, God is saying you have more than enough. We think it's not enough, but all you need is just God's blessing on your 5 loaves and 2 fish. All you need is just God's blessing. God's blessing is God's favor. God's blessing is the one that puts you in the room that you know you are not qualified to be there. Yes, you don't have the resources, but you have heaven resources, right? You don't have any backing, but you have heaven backing you up. You don't have the tool for it, you don't have the connection for it, you don't even have the talent for it. But get it, you don't need talent when you have gifts. The Bible said a man's gift will make a way for him, right? And if you check the life of the people, great people in the Bible, you see, he said, I have seen the son of Jesse, his gift brought him to Saul, right? He said, when Pharaoh Cobera said, when I was in prison, there was an Hebrew boy. His gift of Joseph brought him into the presence of Pharaoh, right? It's like what you think you are, what you think that you have, that is not enough. It is more than enough. Only if you could recognize what the Lord has given to you. And only if you could trust in the Lord that if you are the one that did this thing in the past, you are more than enough to do this now. You see, there is this guy, after like 40 years now, when the Israelites could not go forward because they are fearful, even though Joshua said to them that these people, their defense has been taken away from them. God did not tell Joshua that, right? God only spoke to Moses at a particular time. But get this, after 40 years later, right, when Moses died and then the ministry of Joshua started, there was a lady named Rahab. When Joshua used the same protocol that Moses used and he sent the spy, this time around, he just decided not to send 10 people. He doesn't send 10 people. And when these people went into the land, they met a lady named Rahab. It was known as a harlot, and the ladies lived on the wall of Jericho. And Rahab said something. In Joshua 2:9, it said, and she said unto them, that was Rahab, I know that the Lord has given you the land. If you notice in verse 13 of Numbers, God says, sent men, right, into this place for the land that I have given to them, right? And the Rahab said, I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that your terror is falling upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. Verse 10 said, for we have heard, I love that, for we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you. The Israelites, that God dried up the water of the Red Sea for them. They forgot about God. They forgot that he was the one that actually dried up the Red Sea for them, right? For we have heard how God dried the Red Sea for you when you came out of the land of Egypt, and what he did unto the two kings of Amorites. He said, there were on the other side Jodah, Sinon, and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And verse 11 said, and as soon as we heard those things, our hearts did melt, right? Neither did there remain any more courage in any of us because of you, right? He said, for the Lord your God, he is God above heaven and the earth and in beneath. They don't have anything more in them. Joshua said to these people that the fence has been taken away, right? Because there is no way you're going to hear the things that God has done for these people in the past, and there are these same people who are coming against you, and it's not like their God has departed away from them. You will be afraid. But for some reason, these people forget what the Lord has done in the past, and the enemy remember what the Lord has done for these people. And you see, that big thing that is standing in front of you that you think you cannot overcome is just right there. It's already there. He is already dead. The defense has been taken away from them. You see, that big thing, stop weighing these problems with yourself, because David did not weigh Goliath with himself. He said, I am coming against you with the name of the Lord of Israel. So David is actually placing this situation with the Lord. And then I heard the story of this guy. He was journeying into a place, and then when he gets to the road, he saw this big snake, right? He was on the horse, and the horse just threw him off, and the horse ran away. You know, horses, they were not that loyal, especially when it comes to difficult situations. And the horse ran away, right? And this guy moved closer to this tree, and under the tree there was this big snake, right? The snake, he said, it was so big that it was the size of a trailer tire. So he just rolled there and he placed his head and his body like he's just taking a nap, right? And this guy wanted to turn back, and suddenly he said, I can't turn back. He said to himself, where I'm going is more important. That means whatsoever it is, I have to move forward or die trying. So this guy thought to himself, how about I look for a big rock, and then I just, with all of my strength, all of my might, I just chuck it on this snake head or something. And something told him, you know how the devil does things, like, what if you miss? And the guy was like, I will rather try or die trying, right? If I perish, I perish. That's the language of Esther. If I perish, I perish. And this guy looked for this big stone, and after he got this big stone, with all of his power, with all of his might, he gave it everything he got. And this man just threw this rock on this big snake, and something funny happened. The snake did not move, and the guy had to move closer to the snake, like, what's going on here? By the time he moved closer, that is when he realized the snake was already dead. You see, what the guy did not know was earlier on that day, somebody passed through that same road, right? Jesus. And then that somebody already killed this snake. You see, if this guy had turned back, he would have allowed that snake to delay him, allow that snake to actually turn him back from going to where he was going to. You know what's so funny? Earlier on, we have a big brother that's gone ahead of us and made our crooked path straight. You see, it is not because Peter was so great. In Acts of Apostles, there was an angel that came to Peter, and then it was written that the last gate to the city gate, in other words, the last gate to the freedom, it opened on its own accord as Peter approaches. The gate did not open because Peter was so great. The gate opened because there was an angel of the Lord that was going ahead of him. You see, if you do not let fear stop you, this big thing that you think you cannot handle, God will not have given it to you if you are not the woman for the job. If you are not the right person for the job, God will not have brought you to this company. He wouldn't have given you this contract. He wouldn't have given you this opportunity if he knows you cannot do it. You see, I don't know about you. I don't know if you need this or not, but if I'm preaching to myself right now, I have walked around this mountain long enough. Like, I have gone through hell and back. I have been into this wilderness well long enough, and I am not allowing a dead snake to stop me from going to where I'm going. I don't know about you. Unless you wanted to be like the people of Israel, you just wanted to stay there. You see, God told Peter, right in Acts of Apostles 10, he said, go with them, doubting nothing in your mind, for I have sent them. That means do not doubt you. Do not doubt them. Do not doubt the opportunity. Do not doubt the environment. If I am the one that brought it, I have more than enough to bring it down. If David look at this Goliath and it's like, I can't do this and it turn back, it will never have become the person that they think about, that Saul killed 1,000 and David killed 10,000. You see, the people of Israel saw exactly what David saw. The difference is how David looked at it. I'm telling you right now, how are you looking at it? Because if you allow dead snake to stop you, you are not moving. God is a God that does something on the way. He said faith without work is dead. You see, if David did not move forward, Goliath is not coming down, right? If the woman with the issue of blood, he said it in his heart that if only I can touch the hem of Jesus Christ, so that I shall be made whole. If only he said it, and when did Jesus actually get there and he saw the opportunity, he did not move forward, he's not receiving it. If you did not move forward, God is not going to meet you on the way. Because we serve the God that will meet you on the way. So I dare you. I don't know the opportunity that has come your way. I don't know why God wanted me to say this to you. But the reason why you are watching this is because God knows that He's bringing something to you. Or you're already facing with something that you don't have money for it. You don't have the talent for it. You don't have the background check for it. You don't have the same degree as other people get. But get this. God said to Elijah, He said, why are you thinking you don't have what it takes? I have already reserved 7,000 men. And other than those 7,000 men, I've already reserved your own team. He said, he said, anyone that actually escaped the sword of Hazael, he said, Jehu will slay. If anyone escaped the sword of Jehu, Elisha will slay. In other words, you think it is just you, but God is saying it is not just you. He said he has reserved your own team on the other side. All you have to do is take the step, because God is taking a bold move by bringing you this opportunity. That means you need to take a bold move and actually go with it. Because if you stay stuck like the people of Israel, do you know that because of that fear, they use another 40 years? I don't know about you, but I cannot stay in this wilderness for another single minute. You see, when you see a door of favor opening, I dare you to launch into it. Because they said the appointed time has come. And if the harvest time is not now, I don't know when the harvest time is going to be.